So I love this quote right here. Actually, this is my own quote. Don't be defined by a thing, be defined by how you do it. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that. And it's going to be about the difference between hard work and working hard. All right, don't say anything. Take a look at this picture. What do you see? Don't say anything yet. We're doing a little brain warm up here. I gotta make sure you guys are engaged. Okay, give me one hand. Who can tell me what they see? Okay, I know you guys can talk. Okay, the host is here.
It's a duck.
It's a duck. How many people see a duck? If you see a duck, raise your hand and say a duck. Well, that's not really participative, is it? Let's try that one again. How many people see a duck?
Duck!
Are you not sure? Oh, okay, duck. What else? Does anybody else see something different?
A rabbit.
Rabbit. If you see a rabbit, raise your hand and say rabbit. Does anybody not see both? Oh. Here's the thing about this picture. You can see a duck, you can see a rabbit. If you flip your perspective, you see something else, a duck or a rabbit. But if you only stare at it and understand it to be one thing, you'll never see the other thing. Perspective is important. Being open-minded to seeing things in a different light is important in life. All right. Just because I want to make sure you're awake, we're going to do another one. Don't say anything. I see a lot of squinting. I see a lot of maybe if I turn my head this way, I can see what that is. Does anybody see? If you think you see something, raise your hand. All right, let's get a student. How about you right there? What do you see?
I see a cowboy.
A cowboy. Who sees a cowboy? Wow, this one's a little bit tougher. Yeah, cowboy, I know. It looks like an alien, right? So if you look at it, here's his eye, here's his nose, here's a mouth, here's his hat. You see that? He's like half in the shadow. Kind of see it now? Again, flip your perspective. Try to look at things in a different way. Open your mind, and you'll see a whole bunch of new stuff. You'll learn a whole bunch of new stuff. Amazing what you can do when you keep an open mind. All right, time to get into the nitty-gritty. Are you team red or are you team blue? Take a look at these quotations and read them. Which ones resonate with you? Which ones do you read and say, yeah, that's absolutely true. That's the way to be. They're different. Team red is different than team blue. Although you may not see it, one's talking about hard work, and the other one's talking about working hard. Who's team red? Raise your hand, team red. Who's team blue? Raise your hand, team blue. Okay, that is not nearly everybody in this room. Do we need to stand up? Everybody stand up. See, the thing about this, and the thing about thinking about stuff, is that you can't just, I'm not going to let you just sit there and do nothing. Because you won't get my message. Okay? You have to participate. Or I'm going to call on you. I know you can all talk. I know you all got hands. Okay, sit down. So here's the deal. I love calling on people that don't raise their hand. Love it. Because that makes for a lot of fun, right? The people around you laugh, the people in the room laugh. All right? All right, who's team red? Okay, if I don't see your hand go up, I'm gonna call you out. Who's team blue? All right, much better. We have people participating now. So they look like the same thing, and I grew up thinking that hard work and working hard are the same. And a lot of people do, but they're actually very different. So I'm going to throw up another set of quotes, these black ones here. And I think they'll help you see the difference a little bit more. See, hard work does not always guarantee success. But if you don't work hard, you'll have a hard time. Working hard can be doing hard work or easy work. They're not the same. Just because you're doing hard work doesn't mean you will be successful. But I'm telling you that if you always work hard, you will be successful. There is a difference between hard work and working hard. Okay, but let me clarify something. I am not telling you that if you come up against hard work, you don't need to do it. If your chemistry homework is hard, you don't need to be like, oh, Miss Alicia said that's hard work. I don't need to do hard work because it's not going to make me successful. That's not what I'm saying. You do need to do that stuff too. Sometimes it'll be hard work, sometimes it'll be easy work. But regardless of if it's hard or easy, you need to work hard. It doesn't always need to be hard work, but you always need to work hard. All right, this is one more that I like. Hard work is often easy work that you do not do at the proper time. Just food for thought. So what is the difference? What is the difference between hard work and working hard? Can anybody help me out here? What's your guess? All right, this is where I walk out into the crowd and I pick somebody who looks like they're trying to be not picked. Oh, I got a volunteer, okay.
Hard work is like a noun and working hard is a verb.
What, did you read my notes? Did you read my notes?
Yeah.
You did. Say that again.
Hard work is a noun and work hard is a verb.
Wow, that's a significant difference. They're two completely different things. It's like apples and oranges, right? So if you Google the definition of hard work, this is what you get. It's a great deal of effort or endurance. That's it. It's a thing. Hard work is a thing. It doesn't change. Hard work is hard work. Okay? Working hard, if you Google the definition of working hard, guess what? You'll get nothing. Literally nothing comes up. But if you break it down into the word work and the word hard, this is what you get. Work is actively involving mental or physical effort, doing something. And hard is something that's solid. So if you put those two words together and look at the difference between hard work and working hard, hard work is a great deal of effort. Working hard is putting your effort towards something that is solid. One is a noun, one is a verb. One is a thing, and one is how you do it. Don't be defined by a thing. Be defined by how you do it. Putting a great deal of effort, it is not always going to make you successful, but working towards something solid will always make you successful. Work towards something solid. Put your effort in something solid. Put your effort in the places where you gain the most traction. That's how you become successful. Does anybody know what this gaggle of animals is? All right, this is where I get another volunteer. I think it's got to come from, you can't be this, you read my notes, you can't answer all my questions. All right, let's go with this guy right here. Yep. The 12 zodiac animals, that's right. 12 animals in the Chinese zodiac. Who wins this race? Who knows this story? So there are many, many different versions of this story. So I'm going to tell you one, part of one, parts that apply. So there was the Jade Emperor, the emperor of the heaven and the earth. And he decided that he wanted to make a calendar. And he told the animals that he would make a calendar and put the order of the animals would be dependent upon how they finished the race. So there was merit in becoming first. There were 12 animals that participated. You guys probably know the 12 animals, so I'm not going to name them all. But everybody wanted to be first. So this race course had running involved and had crossing a river involved, and then you had to get to the finish line first. And the first animal to reach the finish line would be the first animal on the Chinese zodiac calendar. And then it would succeed in the order that they arrived. So the rat, who's an early riser, he wakes up and he goes, I'm gonna go win this race because I'm gonna be the first one. I'm the smartest animal out of all these guys. So he wakes up and he runs to the start line. He runs to the start line. We haven't even started the race yet. He runs to the start line and he gets there and all the animals are already there. He's the early riser and all the animals are already at the start line. He didn't even beat anybody to the start line, even though he had a head start. And he's tired. I mean, like super tired, right? He's panting and his legs hurt and he's like, man, that's hard work. Getting to the start line was hard work. Can't do this. I'm not going to win the race like this. So he started thinking about it. And he said, man, I see these animals standing here. I'm not going to beat any of them with hard work. So instead, let me put my effort towards something where I can gain traction. If I'm the smartest animal here, I'm going to use my brain instead. So he says, the ox is not the fastest, but he is the fastest swimmer, or he's the strongest swimmer, and he's steadfast. And oh, by the way, the ox is really nice. He's got good character. So I'm going to go up to the ox, and I'm going to ask the ox, hey, Mr. Ox, how about we make a deal? How about you let me ride on your back for the whole race, and I'll sing to you? And the ox is like, oh, yeah, that sounds good. That's a great idea. Sure, why not? So the rat jumps onto the ox's back. They start the race, and they head off. And sure enough, the ox crosses that river and gets to the finish line first. And just as he gets to the finish line, the ox is like, yes, I did it! And he's celebrating. And just at that moment, the rat jumps off, and what does he do? What does he do? He finishes the race. And he wins first place. So the rat is the first animal on the Chinese zodiac calendar. And how did he win? How did he get success?
Trickiness.
Some people call it trickiness. Some people say it's cunning. Those are all words that are used to describe people that are born in the year of the rat. But it's smart, right? He won. He reached his goal. But he didn't do it using hard work. How did he do it? He worked hard at something that he knew that he could gain traction at. He knew he was smart. He put his effort into something solid for him. There was no way he was going to win that race by hard work alone. He could have ran and ran and ran as hard as he could, and he would have never won that race. But instead, he put his effort towards something that he knew was solid, something that came easy to him. In this case, the rat worked smarter, not harder, right? He put his effort towards something that was solid, which was using his brain, something that he knew he was good at. And then he reached his goal. He won. The smallest animal out there, and he won. He beat all these other people, all these other animals, excuse me. It's a great story. You must work hard, but you don't. You must work hard, but you don't have to seek out hard work. So I'm going to give you 2 keys that I believe are going to help you stay on the path and keeping you focused on working hard instead of getting stuck in the rut of hard work. Because sometimes when you're doing hard work, you kind of get stuck there, right? Because you just think, oh, if I just muscle through it, success is on the other side. So I'm going to give you 2 keys that are going to help you stay focused on working hard and not getting stuck in the rut of hard work. The first one is you got to get your arse in gear. Arse, I did say arse. You got to get your arse in gear. And once it is in gear, you need to keep it in gear. Keep it in check. What is arse? A-R-S, not A-S-S, A-R-S. A stands for attitude. Your attitude is important. You can't always control your circumstances, but you can always control how you react to them. Attitude is important here. When you get stuck in a rut, you can get frustrated. And if you get frustrated, just like those pictures that we looked at in the beginning, you're only going to see one thing. You're going to focus in on just getting that one thing done. Hard work. You got to flip your attitude. Take a break. You can't control your circumstances, but you can control how you react to them. Control your attitude, and a whole world will open up. Attitude is important. Respect is paramount. It matters how you do things. Stand up straight. Shake hands. Say please. Say thank you. Open doors for people. Give up your seat for people. It matters how you do things in life. Respect is paramount. And smile. Don't forget to enjoy yourself. You can control when you smile. Those are your muscles. Make yourself smile, even when you don't feel like it. Right? And smiling will often control your attitude. It's really hard to stay mad if you force yourself to smile. See, when I say smile, I look around the room and I see everybody go, it just happens. Smiling is contagious. Don't wait for somebody else to make you smile. Make yourself smile, okay? You control that. Don't forget to have fun along your way. So if your arse isn't in gear right now, get it in gear, please. All right? And if it already is, then just keep it in check. Keep it in gear. The second key, so get your arse in gear is 1. The second key is what I call triple threat. Who knows what triple threat is? Does anybody play basketball out here? What? Just the he's the only one? Okay. What? There's got to be more basketball players out here. Any more basketball players? All right. You haven't spoken yet, right? What's triple threat? I saw you raise your hand. Oh, no, she's going to call on me. What's triple threat? Stand up. You can show us if you want. Don't be embarrassed. Half these people don't play basketball, so you don't need to be embarrassed. What's triple threat?
Basically, you hold the ball so you're ready to pass. You're ready to pass, dribble, or shoot.
Oh, very good. Very good. Although your stance can use a little work. The definition was right. Okay, thank you. Yes, triple threat. Yeah, give him a triple threat in basketball is when you're in a position, you put yourself in a position where you can pass, dribble, or shoot. You can do anything from that position. You're ready. Triple threat is the ready position. So the triple threat of life, 3 Ps. That's why I call it the triple threat. 3 Ps. Persevere. You must persevere. You must find a way to continue to gain traction. Regardless of your circumstance, you have to continue to gain traction. Don't be blocked by an obstacle. Don't be stuck in a rut where you're no longer gaining traction. Perseverance doesn't mean keep hammering away at the same thing. Perseverance means be relentless in your quest to gain traction. Always be moving forward in your development, always. Second P, pliable. What does pliable mean? We don't use that word very often. People usually associate the word pliable with leather. To be pliable means to be flexible. You can't control your circumstances. Be flexible, be pliable. You have to mold to your surroundings. Leather doesn't crack under pressure. It doesn't crack based on its surroundings. It's moldable. Be pliable. And then the last one, be prepared. And I'm not talking about being prepared in one area. I'm talking about breadth versus depth. Have a grand breadth in life. Okay? I'm talking about having 100 tools in your toolbox, not having 100 versions of the same tool. Some people become experts in one area, and that's fine, but I'm telling you that I think you need to be prepared by having 100 different tools in your toolbox, not just 100 of the same type of tool. okay? So keep these things in mind. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about myself and how these things applied. 2 keys. Get your arcs and gear or triple threat. Who's more like water and who's more like fire? I am using these to describe personalities now. Are you more like water or are you more like fire? Take a minute to think. All right, I'm going to ask for you to stand up this time. Who's more like water in your personality? You identify with water. Pretty good. Who's more like, okay, you can sit down, thank you. Who's more like fire? Stand up if you're a fire personality. Pretty even, a little more fires than waters here. Thank you, sit down. I was born like fire. My parents are sitting back there, they probably can attest to that. I was born like fire, man. Anything in my way, burn it down. How does water deal with obstacles? Kind of flows around, gets around the obstacles, right? Gets around the obstacle.
Goes with the flow.
Goes with the flow. The path of water is dictated by its surroundings. There's something, an obstacle in its way, it goes around it. There's nothing wrong with that. It's another way to get around an obstacle. How does fire deal with obstacles? Burns it down. Burn, baby, burn. That was me. Nothing was going to stand in my way if I wanted something. Nothing. I was going to burn it down. So when I was about 10, and I was a little CYC girl, like Tom told you, I decided I want to be a professional basketball player. That is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do everything it takes to play in the NBA. Possible, right? What? Possible?
Yes.
Okay. I wanted to play in the NBA. There was no WNBA back then. I guess I'm that old. There was no WNBA. I wanted to play in the NBA, and I was going to do everything I needed to do to get there. So I would spend countless nights dribbling the basketball in my basement. I was pretty regimented about it. My parents can attest to this. This is all a true story. I would sit in front of the TV with a basketball in my hand, and I'd toss it up in the air working on my shooting form. We were trying to play Dr. Mario on Super Nintendo, and I was sitting there waiting my turn, throwing the ball up in the air, working on my shooting form. My mom's shedding a tear back there. She realizes that my dreams were not realized. I didn't become an NBA basketball player. I used to go to the gym on the weekends and hang out. And I used to just wait for a team to be short a player so that I could jump in and play with them. My dad used to take me. He knows. I used to walk to the local playground with a ball, and whoever was out on the court, didn't matter if it was a girl or a boy. I was going to jump in and I was going to play pickup with them. I loved basketball. I worked hard at it. And at that time, it wasn't hard work. I loved it. And things came naturally to me. And it was easy. Hard work wasn't hard work yet. But I worked really hard at it. And I gained traction. I was playing on 8 teams at one time, I counted. I started all 4 years in varsity in my school on that basketball team. And by the time we were seniors, my basketball team was ranked #1 in the Washington Post, the top team in the DC, Maryland, and Virginia area. That was my team that I started for all 4 years. I was gaining some good traction. And then I started getting college recruiting letters. Not just one, I got several. And I was excited, and I even told my dad, I said, I don't care where I go to college. I just want to go somewhere that I can play basketball, because that's my dream. That's what I want to do. And I had good traction. Ultimately, I decided that I was going to go to West Point to play basketball. And I did. I played basketball at West Point, and it was fun for a little while. Because at some point in time, basketball became hard work. And that's not a bad thing. Remember, we don't shy away from hard work. We still work hard at hard work. Basketball at West Point was 3-hour practices every day. When my friends were coming back from their classes and hanging out with each other, I was headed on a bus to the gym. And I would practice for 3 hours, sometimes 4 hours, straight up until dinner, then get my dinner in a box, go back to my room, and then start working on my homework until I fell asleep. 4 hours of practice. Sometimes we had 2-a-days where we would wake up early in the morning before classes started. We would go to the gym and we would work out for 2 hours. Go back, have breakfast, go to class. After class was done, go back to the gym and have another practice for 2 to 3 hours. Basketball was my life. And it was hard work. We even gave up our Christmas breaks. I would fly home or drive home for Christmas Day. Christmas Day. Turn around the next day and go back to the gym. Back up at West Point. Back for practice. Back for our Christmas tournament. I was living and breathing basketball, but this is what I wanted. This was my dream. But I started to deteriorate inside. I wasn't having fun anymore. My academics, they were suffering a little. My friendships, all I knew was my basketball team. This became hard work. And I worked hard at it, but guess what? There were other people working hard too. Matter of fact, there was another girl who played the same position I did, and she was taller, she was faster. And it didn't matter how hard I worked. She was always taller. See, I stopped growing when I was like 10. She was always taller. Every day I went in there, she was always taller. She was always faster. She was working just as hard as I was. She was good. So guess what? I stopped gaining traction. That was a hard, hard realization for me. I stopped gaining traction. That was my dream. Working hard, but I stopped gaining traction. Working hard at hard work, no more traction. My playing time started to get smaller and smaller and smaller. And I had to do some deep reflection at that time. I had gone to West Point to play basketball. And guess what I wasn't doing? Playing basketball. So man, I was like, maybe I should leave West Point. I had an application to another college in my desk, and I would call my dad and I would talk to him about it. I wanted to leave. So I took a deep breath, I thought about it, and I said, you know what? Time to get your arse in gear. This isn't working out. Change your attitude, Alicia. Change it. You cannot control your circumstances, but you can control how you react to it. Open your mind. Smile. Find your smile again. And then I started seeing that as one door closes, other doors open. That perspective change, whether you see a duck or a rabbit or you see both, all of a sudden I could see both. I could still play basketball, not on the team, but I could play with my friends and enjoy it again, but I could open other doors. So I decided, with a heavy heart, that I decided to stop playing basketball, but stay at West Point. I gave up on my dream. I'm not gonna cry because I had other dreams. I didn't just focus on the duck, I saw the rabbit. I'm going after the rabbit now. When you stop gaining traction, that hard work is no longer worth it. You work hard in another direction. My fire wasn't hot enough. I could not burn down that obstacle. For the first time in my life, my fire was not hot enough. That was a hard reality. So I thought, you know what? Let's be a little bit more like water. Let's go with the flow on this one. So I became a little more like water. Stepped around that obstacle and kept on going. About that time, I had to pick my major. So I decided, what am I going to do? Math is easy. Now you can coast through things that are easy to you. You can say, oh, math is easy to me. I'm not going to pay attention to it because I don't need to. But I decided, math is easy to me, I'm going to major in math. I'm done working hard at hard work. I'm going to work hard at easy work. And when you work hard at easy work, that's like putting yourself into hyperdrive. You gain so much traction with stuff that you're good at when you put your effort towards that. So I went into hyperdrive. I was happy, I had friends that I could hang out with, I had time back, I had my Christmas breaks back, and I decided to major in math, and I put my effort towards math. Oops, wrong button. And I became a math major, and I went into hyperdrive, and I actually graduated with the top GPA in my major. I was awarded the top award in the math department when I graduated. That is hyperdrive right there. That's hyperdrive. When you put working hard towards something that you can gain traction towards, that's hyperdrive. Now you're really making leaps and bounds towards success. People ask me all the time, wow, you went to West Point? How did you graduate from West Point? How did you make it all the way through? And my answer is always the same. Get your arse in gear, and you stay in triple threat. I persevered. I made sure, it was a lesson I had to learn, but I made sure that regardless of what I was doing, I was gaining traction. And when I stopped gaining traction, it was time to shift and persevere to make sure that I was always diligent, I was relentless in gaining traction. I worked hard at gaining traction. Whether it was hard work or easy work, I worked hard at it. And that paid off. Because after that, I built an entire career, as Tom told you. Nowhere in here do you see a basketball. This little lifeline here, I graduated from West Point. I spent 5 years in the military. I deployed to Afghanistan, and I deployed to Iraq. I deployed to Puerto Rico. I led troops in battle. Came home, and I went and got my MBA from the University of Georgia. Took that MBA and went and worked and became a vice president at Goldman Sachs. That's one of the best, right, Matt? One of the best firms that we have. It's making plenty. I was happy. And then I became a mom. Mom, wow, how impactful is that? You guys may not understand that yet, but you will. And then I became the director of operations at the Innovation Network. And now I'm a public speaker. I teach leadership, and I'm a motivational speaker. And I love every minute of it. I love the path that I took, but if you asked me if that's the path I was going to take when I was 10 years old, no way. You would have seen, instead of seeing 6 pictures down here, you would have seen 6 basketballs. I was all about basketball. See, it's okay to chase a dream passionately, but it's also okay to shift your dream. Working hard to success does not have to be hard work. It can be both hard work and easy work. But regardless of what you do, you must always work hard. I was born like fire, but I let a little bit of water into my life. That's my fire and water there. What am I now? My fire and my water? I'm both. Thank you. I'm both. I'm lava. Oh yeah, watch out. Be like lava, guys. Be a little bit of fire, be a little bit of water. And remember, work hard, triple threat, and keep your arse in gear. Arse in gear. I did say arse.